Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how to self-publish a book on Amazon. Amazon is the world's leading bookseller, and it makes so much sense for your book to be listed there so people can find it. But it can be frustrating to take a DIY approach to book publishing, especially when there's so many things that you still feel like you need to learn about this process. I recorded this video just for you, for people who are really struggling and stuck and don't even know where to begin. By the end of this video, you'll learn where to upload your book files in Amazon KDP, the important details that you need to include in order to get your book seen by the right people, and the step that you need to take if you are selling your book on Amazon. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. So this is Kindle Direct Publishing, kdp.amazon.com. This is where you will upload your book. And this is one book that I've been working on and helping on that is going to be released shortly. And I wanted to show what the KDP page looked like for that. It's called Tactical Mindfulness by a friend of mine, Jan Bidwell. And it's about polyvagal strategies to cultivate steadiness. It's a really powerful book and meaningful book, and super excited that Jan is publishing it. You know, the book description. Book description matters. When you think about the book description, what is the takeaway for the book? Why should somebody read it? What are they going to get out of it? Is it any good? All these things should be really featured prominently. But this needs to be succinct. It needs to be short, you know? Just because you have X number of characters to work with doesn't mean you need to use all of them. Jan's doesn't use too many characters at all. You know, and her description starts with, achieve a steady inner state even in the rockiest of times. I love that. I think that's really powerful. You know, and then we have a couple endorsements, great, and then a paragraph talking about the book. You know, something like that, similar to that is all that's needed. Categories is another topic. I'm not going to touch on every single piece of this process. Categories is super meaningful. I know so many authors who list their books in categories where they feel like they're going to be Amazon bestsellers because maybe these categories aren't as popular, they're not as prevalent. If you find this smaller category, it makes sense that you would have more success in that category, but is it the right category for your book? That's what really you're asking yourself. What category should this book be in? And a lot of times when I'm going through this process, I will use ChatGPT as a starting point, you know? What is a possible book description? Give me some ideas about that. And then I adjust it accordingly just to get the pacing right. You know, for Jan's book, it's listed in stress management, happiness, and emotions. And for each of these, you can actually go through and see, for stress management, for example, let's pull up that page. Here's the stress management self-help page. And these books, like The Anxious Generation, see some of the other ones, The Happiness Trap, Burnout, The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle. These are books that match strongly with Jan's book, which is super meaningful. That means we're in the right categories. Another important element is keywords. What are the terms that people are going to search for when they're interested in finding your book? You want to use keywords that are going to allow people to want to click and to want to buy your book. You know, so what 7 phrases would you use? Again, ChatGPT is a good reference here if you think about using that as a starting point. What are some keywords I could use for this book, you know? Publication date, it's great to set a publication date, release date, all that good stuff. It's very exciting. All right, so we are going to go to the next tab, which is, and this is the hardcover book. So that was details. This is the content. Content tab, add your own ISBN. You know, this is super important. It's good to get independent ISBN codes when you can from a site like Boker. They're frustrating to get and they are expensive. They can be $125 for one, or $300 for 10 of them, but you want to get ISBN codes for each format of the book. You don't necessarily need one for the ebook, but for paperback or hardcover, you 100% should get your own ISBN codes instead of a free ISBN code. Just good to have. Here's where you can go through and set up different options for print. You know, what kind of interior do you want? What kind of paper stock do you want? What trim size? And I typically think about popular books in your space. You know, how are they organized? How are they arranged? How do they look? I would do something similar with your book. You're trying to match their success, you know, why not match the things within their book that work so well? You know, there's all these different processes and important steps you can take to upload the manuscript itself, to make sure it's in the right format, you know, to make sure that it's uploaded properly. GEX, HTML, RTF, PDF. PDF's a popular one. But it's good to be able to understand what they're looking for, because all of these things that you upload need to get approved, and the cleaner they are, the easier it is to get approval. Book cover, same thing, You have to upload the whole cover as a single PDF. It covers the back cover, the spine, if the book has at least 79 pages, and the front cover. And book preview is great because you can actually look at it and see what it looks like. You can page through and make sure it works well. It will tell you your printing costs, which is interesting, especially when we think about the next page, which is rights and pricing. So when you think about how much it costs to publish the book, then you can accordingly set the price to sell the book. Pricing, royalties, and distribution. For a $23.99 book, for the list price of $23.99, the printing costs $10.35, and Amazon's rate 60%. You end up with $4 in royalties. So it's interesting seeing how this all breaks down, and you can break it down by a location, by country. It's really interesting. One of the most important steps that you really, really should follow if you're working with the print book is to get a book proof. Get a printed preview of the book before it goes live. And if you do that, you'll be able to hold it and see what it looks like and see if there's any changes that need to be made. It's a safety net. You really don't want to publish a book without seeing what it looks like first in the printed form. I've seen it where people will publish their books and they don't have the margins right, so the text will bleed into the margins, and it's super frustrating. It looks sloppy. So it's a matter of really getting it right and knowing what this looks like and feeling confident. You want to feel confident with your book. Yeah, what's awesome about self-publishing on Amazon is that as you move forward to publication, if there are any issues, you can simply update the files. You can update the interior files. You can make changes in that way. And if there's a typo, fix it. It can be cumbersome and annoying when you publish a book that has a lot of copies out in the world and then you realize something's wrong. With print on demand like Amazon, you can actually make the changes, re-upload, and just work from that file moving forward and avoid making that change again, making that error again. It's really special to be able to publish it and then monitor the success. You can actually go on Amazon Author Central and look at the number of copies you've sold. You can see the dips, the ups and downs, the progress, the momentum, the types of books that are selling, all those things. So it's really neat to be able to monitor and see what kind of progress you're making and just to enjoy it, appreciate it. These are people buying your book. It's a powerful thing to be able to have a book that people are buying and purchasing and reading and loving. And it's a reflection of the presence and the energy and the information that you're putting out in the world. It's such a powerful thing to be able to write a book for somebody and to share with them and inform their worldview on something. It's the greatest thing. In terms of writing, there's nothing greater than that. So it's an interesting process. But I want you to trust yourself that you can do it and do it well. And I want you to avoid having to get ripped off because you don't feel confident in yourself and your ability to do this. If you want to learn more about how to self-publish a book on Amazon, there's another video I recorded I want you to check out. I'll link to it on the screen. It's called How to Get Your Self-Published Book Noticed. That video, I go so much deeper on the promotion side, on some of the metadata pieces, on all of the things that you can do, social media, other things. There's so many things that you can do to promote your book and carry it forward and share the message. And that video goes much deeper on that side of the game. So if you're interested in learning more about that process, definitely check out the video. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.